Thank you. It is day 91 of our disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, and sadly tonight, the government reports BP's new containment cap has a leak. The device is still keeping the vast majority of the crude from gushing into the Gulf, we're quite sure, but the National Incident Commander says a small amount of oil and gas is leaking out, though he insists it is not a big concern. He also says the seepage, as they're calling it, is about 2 miles away, or a particular seepage 2 miles away, is probably not related to the well.
We do not believe this is consequential at this time. It is a collective opinion of the folks that are talking about this that the small seepages we are finding right now do not present, at least at this point, any indication that there is a threat to the well bore.
That's seepage, but the well cap itself is another matter. Admiral Allen says he's agreed to let BP test the cap for another 24 hours, with officials keeping a close eye on it for signs of trouble. Phil Keating live on the Mississippi coast in Pass Christian tonight. Phil, one sign of trouble would be a drop in pressure inside that cap, right?
Right, Shep. It's all about the pressure under that cap at this point. That's what scientists around the country are all studying. The pressure tonight is 6,811 pounds per square inch. Scientists all along thought it would be higher and rise faster than it has. Two possible explanations. Number one, after 3 months of gushing into the Gulf of Mexico, this oil reservoir simply has lost a lot of its punch. Or a possible scenario number two, much more dire, and that is that possibly the cap is forcing the pressure down and out, and that could be possibly forcing oil and methane gas to then perhaps explode somewhere else in the Gulf floor. That could cause an entirely much larger calamity environmentally here.
Yeah, I'll say BP wants to keep the thing capped until the end, and in effect, that would make us really never know exactly how much oil was leaking into the Gulf and maybe have arguments forever about how BP should be punished for such a thing. That said, we now have an actual target date for when the relief well is to be in place for the so-called bottom kill, right?
July 29th is now the target date. This first relief well was begun May 5th, so it's coming in about a week earlier than scheduled. It'll take days, if not a few weeks, to go ahead and pump the drilling mud down there, cement it shut for good. However, regarding the amount of oil being collected at the ships, if they did open it back up to determine that number, well, Admiral Allen thinks, at the end of the day, once this is all over, we'll have a pretty good assessment of exactly how much oil BP will let spill into the Gulf of Mexico.
And Phil, from its executives' discussion that they want to keep the cap on until the relief well is completed, as they put it, because it could save them a lot of money.
Right. They'll be held financially accountable based on the amount of oil determined to have gone into the Gulf of Mexico all spring and summer. We've only had the guesstimates, 35,000 barrels a day or 60,000 barrels a day. If you cap the well as it is now, then open it back up, no oil is going out into the ocean, it's going up to the ships. You can get an accurate number as to per day how many barrels spilled. Doing that, transitioning, will allow no more oil to spill 2 or 3 more days. That's what BP says is a bad idea. Again, Admiral Allen says in the end, we'll come pretty close thanks to all these pressure tests.
We'll see how this plays out. Phil Keating in Pass Christian, thanks for your technical crew for a small miracle tonight. We appreciate it.